The world really doesn't need another video on gaslighting, but I do think we need to know and recognize how manipulation works in relationships. So I'm going to share 5 common but much less talked about emotional manipulation tactics I see as a couples therapist. If you've ever walked away from a conversation with your partner or anyone feeling confused, guilty, or like you're the problem, you might have just experienced some psychological manipulation. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 psychologically manipulative tactics people use and how to spot them. And while gaslighting is absolutely a manipulation tactic, I'm not going to cover it. Instead, I'm sharing the things that I didn't even get taught in grad school. These are tactics and patterns that I've observed from my work and I've had to understand and research myself. There's absolutely power in being able to name patterns in people, which is kind of the whole idea of my people patterns. So I'll walk you through these 5 more unusual ways manipulation occurs, give you the playbook, how it works, the breakdown and examples so you can recognize the signs before they start spiraling. The most damaging form of manipulation is also the hardest to spot, so make sure you stay until the end so you know all of them. And if we've not met before, my name's Oliver. I'm a couples and family therapist in Los Angeles. And if you're interested in learning more about these tactics, I've got a free download and handout on my blog. I'll put the link below. And if you're interested in more, I've got a whole playbook on my laptop right here. And I will gladly make another video if you leave a comment asking for it. So let's start with the straw man. The straw man argument is a type of logical fallacy where a person distorts, exaggerates, or fabricates the other person's argument to make it easier to attack. So one person replaces a very reasonable concern with an exaggerated caricature that's designed to be utterly indefensible, a bit like building a scarecrow that's meant to be knocked down and is easier to attack.
I wish you'd help more with housework.
So you're saying I do nothing around here and you're my slave?
Here's how it works. Step 1, misrepresentation. A partner expresses a need, concern, or feeling, and the other partner immediately twists it into something much more extreme. Step 2, then they aggressively argue against the fabricated version, often with some righteous indignation. But it's not addressing the actual concern, while still sounding logical and reasonable.
That's not what I meant.
Let's ignore the fact that I work all the time, take care of the yard. But yes, I'm a terrible partner who does nothing.
And step 3, the victory. After defeating their own fabricated argument, they act as if they've proven their partner wrong, that their partner's unreasonable or overly demanding. And why does this happen? Well, the straw man tactic is a powerful way to avoid accountability and emotional vulnerability. And it's also a way of making their partner doubt their own reasoning. So it's manipulation that serves multiple purposes. It derails legitimate conversations about relationship needs and wants. It makes the requesting partner feel guilty or unreasonable. And it allows the manipulator to play the victim of unreasonable demands. So over time, the partner learns that expressing needs will be twisted into extreme accusations, so they stop asking, stop talking, stop sharing what they need. Bulverism is a great word. It's a form of emotional invalidation and a manipulation tactic where one partner dismisses their partner's concerns by claiming that they stem from some character flaw, a past trauma, some psychological issue. It was actually coined by C.S. Lewis of the Chronicles of Narnia fame to describe the practice of dismissing arguments by psychoanalyzing the person rather than addressing the points.
I'm really sad you forgot our anniversary.
Well, you're just sensitive about that because your parents got divorced.
Here's the breakdown. Step 1, the assumption. The manipulator assumes their partner's concern or feeling is wrong, unreasonable, without actually examining it or looking at it. So then they jump to step 2, which is the psychological diagnosis. Instead of addressing this concern or looking at it or listening to it, they offer a psychological explanation for why their partner feels that way. They might claim their partner is being too sensitive or insecure or controlling or acting out, that it comes from unresolved past trauma or attachment issues. And step 3 is the dismissal. By attributing the concern to some psychological flaw or past damage, they dismiss the entire conversation as invalid, avoid any responsibility again, They don't address the actual issue, they don't change their behavior. So Bulverism is a particularly damaging form of emotional manipulation and gaslighting because it allows one partner to avoid accountability while making the other partner question their own emotional stability, judgment, and health. It totally invalidates any legitimate relationship needs by labeling them as symptoms of some psychological issue. It shifts the focus from addressing any behaviors, connection, understanding, working through problems, to defending against character attacks. Number 3, the black swan fallacy. It's a manipulation tactic that occurs when a partner makes sweeping generalizations about relationships, their partner's behaviors, genders, based on their very limited personal experience. So the name actually comes from this historical belief in Europe that all swans are white, which was disproven by the discovery of black swans in Australia. In relationships, this fallacy manifests when someone insists that their limited dating history or friend group experience or relationship past represents universal truths about all relationships or all people of a certain type, and perhaps in particular, the current relationship. This is what it sounds like.
All of my exes have cheated on me, so I know you're gonna cheat too.
But I've never cheated on anyone.
We will see.
This is the breakdown. There's a limited observation. So one partner draws conclusions from their past relationships, their parents' marriage, social circles, anything from their own very limited experience. Number 2, they make a universal conclusion. They then apply these observations as an absolute rule that govern all relationships or all people with certain gender, personality, whatever it is. And step 3, the dismissal of exceptions. So they refuse to acknowledge that their current partner or relationship might be different from their past experiences. Dismiss any evidence that contradicts their predetermined conclusions. So the black swan fallacy becomes this self-protective but ultimately very destructive mechanism. The manipulation aspect emerges when these universal truths are used to justify behaviors, resist change, or even control someone's behaviors. It creates a narrative where the relationship is perpetually on trial against the ghost of past relationships. And that makes genuine trust and growth virtually impossible. There's no working through relationship issues. There's no reconnection. Number 4 is the Motte-and-bailey fallacy. It's a manipulation tactics where one partner makes very extreme, damaging accusations about their partner or relationships. That's the Bailey. And when they're confronted with evidence to the contrary, they retreat to a much more reasonable, milder complaint, which is the Motte. They then act as though the mild version was the whole point all along, but later will return to the very extreme accusations as if it were proven true. So in order to really get this, we have to do a little bit of history lesson here. It comes from a specific castle design from medieval times. Castles were essentially consisting of 2 main parts. The bailey, which is the courtyard of the castle. It's spacious, productive, lots of different activities go on there. Blacksmiths, markets, living quarters for normal people. However, it's also very vulnerable and hard to defend when under attack. The motte, though, is a raised fortification. It's the tower on the hill, but it is cramped, it's unpleasant, it's the last resort, but very easy to defend.
You're always so controlling.
What do you mean? How?
I just mean sometimes you ask where I'm going when I leave for the gym.
The tactic here allows a manipulative partner to make a devastating accusation without having to defend them. That's the bailey, and then there's a retreat to the motte. Let's put it all together. The partner makes an extreme relationship damaging claim. It might be a sweeping character assassination, an accusation of something, some dramatic statement about their partner's intentions. And these statements are designed to wound and control. But step 2 is the retreat. When their partner provides counter evidence or asks for examples, they don't defend that extreme claim. Instead, they retreat back to the castle, which is a much milder, often more reasonable concern that's hard to argue against. Step 3, the re-emergence. Once the confrontation passes, they return again to treating the extreme accusations as an established fact. They reference it in future arguments, tell friends and family about it, or use it to justify their behaviors, acting as if the mild complaint proved the extreme accusation. The last one here is the no true Scotsman fallacy. This was coined by a British philosopher in the 70s. His name's Anthony Flew, and he illustrated this fallacy with a very famous example. Person A says, no Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge. And the other person says, well, my Uncle Angus is Scottish and he puts sugar on his porridge. Well, no true Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge. It's a bit of a bait and switch. In relationships, this is where one partner protects their unrealistic expectations or criticisms by constantly redefining what constitutes that argument. So it might be what real love is or what one partner is supposed to do. And when their partner provides evidence that contradicts it, they dismiss it by claiming it doesn't actually meet their definition of what a true partner would do or what a partner is supposed to do. So let me give you that example.
You never show me affection.
That's the bold statement.
But I brought you flowers last week, and I'm always saying I love you.
That's the counter.
But that's not real affection.
So the definition just shifted. Here's the blow by blow. Partner A makes a broad statement about their relationship or their partner's behavior. It's a sweeping accusation. It's very generalized. Step 2, wanting to defend themselves, the other partner provides concrete examples that contradict that claim. Step 3, that gets rejected. Instead of acknowledging these efforts, the manipulator dismisses them completely by saying, well, that's not what I really meant by support or what real love is. That's not the true definition. This tactic operates by creating a moving target for what defines their argument. It allows the manipulator to maintain their grievances without acknowledging their partner's actual efforts. They redefine the standard to exclude any evidence that contradicts their narrative. So in relationships, the no true Scotsman fallacy becomes this very powerful tool for maintaining a victim status, but also avoiding accountability. It creates a bit of an emotional trap where no amount of love or effort or compromise is ever enough because the goalposts keep moving and the definitions change. These are impossible standards that ensure that one partner always has grounds for complaint while their partner exhausts themselves trying to meet this ever-moving target. It destroys self-esteem, creates chronic anxiety about the relationship, and really prevents genuine communication, working through issues, talking about needs and setting boundaries. I find that there is so much power that comes from knowing and naming the patterns, seeing the breakdown, understanding it. Because once you get an intellectual understanding of how it works and when you can name it, you can start spotting it more and more. I wish this was something that they would teach us more in grad school, and I hope it is helpful for you. Again, if you want more information on this, go to my website. The blog post is below. There's a free download there and other tools that you can use. And if you want a sequel, if you want more of these, if you want the counter to these, let me know in the comments. I will happily make another video for you because I kind of find this all very fascinating and I found it so useful in my work with couples. It's a very tangible skill to teach and I love being able to help people like that.